Okay, first on say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Shai Bashim Kadash. I'm gonna give double honor to others, apostle and teacher, great minister, following the shoot down, so shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. And I'm gonna center this. I just have a few scriptures, but I'm gonna not necessarily on this specific topic, but on the fact that this is why the Lord has given us the correct teachers and the correct leaders to follow. We've always had leaders to follow. The Lord set up judges, then he set up kings. He had prophets which were above kings, and you had kings that obeyed the words of prophets that were rebuked by prophets. The Lord always had a hierarchy of men, and there are certain men he put in certain positions for certain reasons, because of qualities that they had, because of experiences that they had. Oftentimes you had older men in leadership positions because of because their experience and things that they've gone through life. They know the ins and outs. And these guys, from what I'm seeing, are just a bunch of young. A lot of these jakes are a bunch of immature, young, rambunctious niggas. Even if they have gray hair, they're still mentally children. But the Lord set up men, that he gave the truth for specific reasons. And the elders and apostles, great millstone, are the men who our people is supposed to be following. Not niggas like this. And it's clear, because like this right here, like I don't know too much about these other offshoot groups beyond like Sakari and IUIC and ISUPK, but I guess Genesis is like, you got BOW. Like, I don't know who any of these fuckers are. Like, I've seen different videos from here and there, but like, I don't know who the fuck their leaders. None of that shit. But we do know they're saying crazy ass shit. And going to this video, these niggas said that there's a different 2/3 from the 2/3 in the just all type. They're just going back the things that they've been taught, because like the doctrine came out of One West, and all these offshoot niggas learned from the the elders and teachers of One West that came from One West. And now they learn from them. They start, and then they talk shit against the very same men that they learned from. They change up the doctrine. It's absolutely insane. And the things that they're saying doesn't match up with the scriptures. And it may sound like a broken record, but they keep saying the same stupid shit that sounds like a broken record to us. But and it's absolutely insane. I've never heard of some shit like this before. From what I've seen in the past few years, like, I know brothers say that a lot of this stuff has pretty much like been brought back up. So like, just from that, I'm just gonna assume that at one point in history that this type of thing was said before. But and this is absolutely fucking insane. So Genesis is like say the 2/3 will be beamed up and burned. And going to the video, pretty much they broke it down of how 2/3 are pretty much going to be beamed up into chariots and then tossed into the lake of fire, which the scriptures doesn't say that. And that makes absolutely no sense. When you go into Zechariah 13, and it's just, it's a why? It doesn't make sense. It's a bunch of unnecessary roundabout bullshit. And when you go in this Zechariah 13 and 8, the bulk of it's talking about here in America, the 2/3 being tossed into the lake of fire, which is going to be in America. When you go into the scriptures in Revelation, and hell, Jeremiah, Isaiah, I think, that pretty much go into those missiles. It talks about how missiles are going to touch down here in America and burn this bitch up. 200 million nuclear warheads. And we've seen what one can do. So it's going to literally look like a lake of fire, because fire is going to fucking coat the entirety of America. But this is why, you know, we're told to follow men of great millstone, because like the things that our elders and apostles, the things that they teach us, line up with what's in the Bible. It all lines up. And hell, I was just about to start a video the elder apostle Gabar had made a response to. I think he made a response a day ago. But pretty much artificial intelligence is backing the things that we're saying. Now, is that needed? Absolutely not. But a so-called artificial, you know, intelligence being backs up what Great Millstone says concerning the Bible and the prophecies. That should tell you something, because AI, if you know about it, which everybody fucking should, it's something of a, it gathers information from the internet. Let me just say it like that. You know, like you ask it a question, it'll go throughout the internet and gather information on the internet within fucking seconds on that topic. And the conclusion that it came to was that, you know, Great Millstone is correct. And I've heard this quite a bit over the past few months since, you know, that expedition of artificial intelligence. And you know, you have atheists. There's atheists that aren't atheists because they don't believe. They turn to atheism because they realize the truth of the Bible. You know, they realize that God doesn't, you know, they can't handle that truth, that God doesn't care about anybody, that he will have an old lady get torn to fucking pieces by a damn alligator, that he'll have a child born with cancer just to die a year later. He'll do a nigga greasy with a Z. He'll do a nigga greasy. And you have a lot of atheists that realize that, and they'll say, okay, yeah, this ain't for me. Well, this is 2 Timothy 3:10. And they'll, you know, once again, they'll second the thing, they'll second and back the things that we say. But these niggas, this is some, what, that doesn't make sense. You clearly hear me. I'm at a loss for fucking words. I'm just going to get the scriptures and keep it moving. Because, like, I don't know what if you watch the video, they said that the 2/3 will be beamed up, the 2/3 will be gathered from the world, from the rest of the earth. It's not just talking about America, from the rest of the earth. They're going to be beamed up in the chariots and then destroyed. Just like that Christian doctrine with, you know, people like going to hell, like, right, people are going to die, and then they're going to be resurrected to sit before the judgment seat of the Heavenly Father, and then they're going to die again. That doesn't make sense. Timothy 3:10. But thou hast faithfully known my doctrine. 3:14. But continue thou in the things wherein thou hast known, thou hast learned, and hast been assured of, knowing whom thou hast learned them. And knowing and being assured of, because all these things that are happening, we line them up and we can see them happening. You know, like the MOTB system. You see all this shit lining up and, you know, pieces being set in place. Niggas say that RFID chip is not the mark of the beast. Well, then what is it? With everything going on that you see going on and happening, what item fits into the beast system? What is it? If it's like what white women, embargo, sin, that all that shit can easily be debunked. If sin was the beast system in Revelation 13 is an end time prophecy. It's an end time power structure. And that mark would appear in that end time, in that power structure at that time. So if sin is, if that mark is sin, sin has always been on the earth. So that doesn't that doesn't fit. White women have always been on the earth. That doesn't fit either. Well, not always, but white women have been on the earth longer than they've been on the earth for a while. You don't trade in some white women that doesn't make sense. An embargo, that shit doesn't make sense. But all these niggas twisting and then this shit. This shit got me flabbergasted. I ain't never heard no shit like that. But this is why, once again, there's certain men who we're supposed to be following. And like what? They always say, I remember in the older videos, especially those apostles always said when they did those long sit downs, and even in the shorter videos, do your own research. Don't just take our word for it. Look these things up for yourselves. And lo and behold, you look the things up for yourselves and everything checks the fuck out. They're not incentivized to tell you bullshit to get in your wallet. All these other niggas, if you notice, all these other camps who are saying this crazy shit, they're getting money from their congregation, which there's nothing wrong, because we've always did. As Israelites, we've always done business with each other. But there's a difference between us doing business amongst ourselves and using the truth as a way to make money. So Corinthians, and this is going to be it, 11 and 13 or 3, because that's I've never heard of some shit like that before. Well, I guess technically, yeah, because it's similar to the whole, people going to hell thing, dying and then being judged and going to hell after they've already died. It's similar to that. Second Corinthians 11 and 3, but I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through subtlety, so your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in the Mashiach. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, another Yahushua. Well, the reason why I say Jesus is because you have Yahushua and then you have the false idol Jesus that these niggas worship, whom ye have not preached, or if you receive another spirit, whom ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not received, might well bear with them. And what? All the shit that all these niggas, that's insane, boy. It's completely different from what's in the Bible. Jesus is completely different from what's in the Bible. God loving everybody, that's not in the Bible. That's a completely different dogma from what's in the Bible. You niggas might as well just put the Bible down. You're not using it anyway. And write up your own shit. Because y'all doing a good job of coming up with your own mythos and shit. Go ahead, put the Bible down and write your own shit. Because y'all done virtually did that. But all these other camps are coming with another spirit. And it mentions the word simplicity. And this is the really, I guess you could say, feature scripture, focusing on the word simplicity. Because if the Spirit is working with you, all of these things really are simple. We go into even deeper breakdowns, right? If the Spirit is working with you, obviously, you study, you're going over it. After a certain amount of time, it'll be simple to understand. Shit will click. So I remember me personally, not to make this about me or anything, but just an example. There's certain things I didn't understand, coming into the truth. I went over it, and I went over years over, went over years and years and whatnot, and got more into the truth. Shit just clicked. And looking back, I'm thinking to myself, how did I not understand this? It's simple. Like with the whole Gentiles thing in Zechariah 13, it's simple. The bulk of our people are here in America. The vast bulk of Jake is here in America. Our people scattered throughout heathen nations. Yes. But the vast majority of our people are here in America. Or the Americas. Because you got a lot of the Northern Kingdom and South America. But this is the land where the bulk of our people are. So it stands to make sense how you have 2/3 of our people will mainly refer to where the bulk of our people are. Sure, you have 2/3 in heathen nations. You have niggas in heathen nations going to get knocked off. But that's referring to America. Why? Because this is where the majority of our people are. Simple. Gentiles thing. Simple. Mark of the beast. All these different things. If the little spirits work with you, it's simple to understand. But these niggas, once again, the reason why the word simple came to mind is because of how complicated those niggas made the process of 2/3 getting knocked off and 1/3 being beamed up. It's very simple. We all go through Jacob's trouble. Some of the 2/3 get knocked off in Jacob's trouble. Some of the elect are going to be martyred, which martyr mean being a witness. But they're gonna die. Some of the elect are going to die. They're going to be resurrected. They're going to be among the first to be resurrected. The rest of the 2/3 are going to get hit with fucking missiles. And the Heavenly Father is going to beam up the elect, change them. And we go throughout the earth, fucking putting boots to asses. Simple. But these niggas, watch that video. They complicated that process. It was insane. They said that the 2/3 would be saved the Lord Jacob's trouble was a punishment for our people, by the way. Salvation, he that endured to the end the same shall be saved, through the Lord's salvation through the chariots from Jacob's trouble. A 2/3 isn't enduring until the end to be saved from Jacob not from Jacob's trouble, but to be guided through Jacob's trouble and to be saved from nuclear fire. That's a reward for the work that the elect put in. 2/3 aren't putting in that work. So why would the Lord beam them up? Oh, but that doesn't make sense. Oh, but he's going to punish them. Why? Save them from, like you said, the lake of fire with Basra. What? Dude, so he's going to beam them up in the chariots. And scripture talk about how Lord's going to change our bodies when we go into the chariots. So that doesn't make sense either. Because he's going to change your bodies, and then he's going to change their bodies back to throw them to the lake of fire in Basra. When you actually this may sound great to them, but when you actually sit down and try to ponder this shit, it's insane. That doesn't sound right. It doesn't even sound logical. Well, the Lord is outside of our logic, but it doesn't make sense. And it says, Revelation 20:14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And this, in America, with the current condition of this earth, especially here in America, this is hell. Hell is a condition. You have that saying, a living hell. That's a condition. The condition of hell is going to be tossed. It's all going to be destroyed. After the nuclear missiles touch down, there's going to be no more death, no more pain. I think in Revelation 21, it's somewhere in Revelation, but it mentions that. And there's going to be no more tears, no more pain, no more sorrow, no more mourning. That lake of fire is the second death. What great event, because you have the first death, which is water, right? What great world changing, because the scriptures say when the missiles touch down, the earth is going to shake. You can bet your ass that when the Lord had dropped down that water bomb on everybody, he dropped that fucking water bomb on everybody in the ancient world. You can bet your ass the earth was shaking then. You know, geysers erupted from the ground, fucking cracking the ground and shit. Niggas getting ripped up. Look up something called, I think it's called a water cutter. Water is powerful. Water can crash. It can smash. Water can cut fucking metal. It can cut steel. It can cut iron if channeled in the proper way. So you damn sure that water can carve out rock. Water is, look at tsunamis. Water is dangerous, my boy. And so when the Lord dropped that fucking water bomb on everybody, you can bet your ass that the earth was shaking then. Because, you know, it started raining and then it picked up. Then it got heavier. No, use your imagination. Niggas was getting fucked up. But that was the first death. What, you know, that great, literally world-altering event was the first death. So when you go into prophecy, what event could be considered so worldly shaking and world-altering that it could be considered the second death? And that second death is linked to the lake of fire. It's the fucking missiles dropping off. But this is why, once again, you gotta be listening to the correct men. And I've mentioned it quite a bit, but Elazar is a prime fucking example. People listen to him. Some fanboy called that, said when you meet Elazar, it's like meeting Jesus. It's like meeting the Lord himself. But your so-called Lord is up and left. What Lord does? Where they do that at? Your Lord just up and left and said, you know what? Come follow me on Twitch. We ain't talking about the truth no more. We about to get some money. That's important to follow the proper men. And these niggas are nuts. But hope it's edifying. So y'all praise this glory down to Yahweh Shem Shah Bashim Gakadash. That was the other part of the teacher, great minister, color and truth. Shalom to hopefully like Israel instruction battle on Great America.